So Jennifer and I are just getting ready at our hotel room, and I was doing my prayer time and Bible reading. Just coming off of recently doing the video on Are There Too Many People on this section in Genesis, and there was so much more in it. And one of the things that I had mentioned that there was more in it is this part here that I'm reading over right now, where I had started on that last video. It's actually Genesis 1:26. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." Where God's telling us to rule over the creation that He made. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them. Now this is the part, and you can see how God had created Adam, and then He created Eve. So He created the male and then the female. So the thing about it that we can see here is that God created them different. Important, created them in the image of God, created important, but they're not exactly the same. They have different roles and different strengths and weaknesses. Otherwise, why would God make them exactly the same? They're not. Obviously, we know there's major differences between males and females. So it goes on in verse 28. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and every living creature that moves on the ground." Again, telling them to rule over them. But what did God create them, male and female, for? Be fruitful, increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Only a male and a female can do that. Only a male and female can be fruitful, increase in number, and fill the earth. That's what God created people for. To be fruitful, increase in number, and fill the earth, so that He has a lot of people that can be in relationship with Him. Because God created us to know Him. Verse 29, then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food, and all the beasts of the earth, and the birds of the air, and all the creatures that move on the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw all that He had made, and it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning on the sixth day. So God created things in a certain way. He created people to be able to know Him, His prized creation, and He created us male and female, different, equally important, but different. There would be no reason to create another gender if He just wanted everybody to be exactly the same. But if He created everybody the same, they would not be able to be fruitful, increase in number, and fill the earth. But that was pleasing to God, the way that He created things. Created all creation, and then created man to rule over His creation. Of course, again, under His ultimate overall rulership. But God saw all that He had made, and it was very good. The way He created it, the way He intended it to function and to be, was very good. It was pleasing to Him, and it was the way that He wanted things to be, and it was the way things were going to work out in the best possible way, because God, knowing everything, having all power, and created everything, created it to function and be the way that He wanted it to be. Coming over into Genesis 2:20, the second part of verse 20 over here, God says, "But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, He took one of the man's ribs and closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib He had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of the man." So we see here in God's infinite wisdom and in his pleasure in creating humans, he created someone who was different than Adam. He didn't create somebody who was the same as Adam, because if he created somebody the same as Adam, they would not be able to multiply, increase in number, and fill the earth, which was God's plan for the two genders, male and female. Verse 24, "For this reason man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh." So we see here that God created male and female, different from each other, equally important, but different, but complementing each other in their strengths and weaknesses, and becoming one flesh as they're brought together in marriage, which marriage is between a man and a woman. And it was in God's perfect plan, perfect wisdom, that he did this to have them multiply, be fruitful, increase in number, and fill the earth, so that there would be many people for God to have a relationship with, to love, and to be able to love him back. But it's just incredible to see in God's wisdom how he created us different in that way, to increase, fill the earth, and to become one flesh in a marriage relationship. Two people who are different, equally important to him, but in his wisdom created this perfect plan and purpose to work in the best way possible and to function the way God created things to function and to be, which is God's perfect plan.